Hey guys, Professor Bell, Comic Book University, and X Factor, issue number 1. All right, cool. I'm digging on this. This is something I can actually enjoy. Let's get talking about who made this comic book. We'll talk a little bit more about the comic book itself and where I think the direction of this comic book is going to go. Seems pretty obvious, right? But that's not actually what I mean. We'll see what happens from there. All right, so Leah Williams on writing, David Baldion on art, Israel Silva on colors, VC's Joe Caramagna on letters, Tom Mueller on design, Ivan Sharin on cover art. There's a whole bunch of variant covers. I guess they were really expecting a lot from this comic book. Well, they were right, because it's pretty good. The first issue is called Suite Number 1, Prelude, Aurora Moratorium. So basically, that's actually a good name for this because Aurora dies. Oh, she did. She did. All right. The bond between twins is always like, a big deal. And it's really emphasized a lot in the X-Men or Alpha Flight books because they actually share a bond with each other. So, in fact, that was actually one of the reasons why Aurora had her powers originally changed, because she just didn't want that psychic link with her brother anymore. That's a long story. Changed her hair and everything. Now she's kind of back to her original version. Well, that was before she died. So they got to try and figure out what's going on. And she was apparently murdered. It wasn't quite entirely purposeful, but it did happen nonetheless. And the other person died. I'm not gonna get into all of that, because this is a crime thriller investigation type story, and telling you too much about the story is actually just going to break that. So I will say that besides there being a full-blown investigation, there's also the formation of the team. They're bringing the band back together, right? And their first song, Rambling On. So they actually have a really good cast of characters here to play. Now, I'm going to make a complaint about the book, and unfortunately, it's a complaint that I find myself making a lot. And I'm probably going to wind up getting typecast or stereotyped and whatever, if that's, what's going to make you feel better about yourself, sure. I felt that pretty much everything that there was to say about Dakin in this book was, he's bisexual, he's bisexual, he's bisexual. And then everything else was just proofs that he's bisexual. When Jean-Paul asked Northstar, oh, by the way, Northstar is gay. There was not one moment in here where it was necessary to point out that he's gay, even though he was in that room with his husband. You might have actually mistaken that for protege if you weren't paying really close attention to the art. And I'll bet you everybody's in here people who never heard of Northstar before, they're going to be like, whoa, Jean-Paul Bubler, he's gay? I didn't even notice that in the book. Yeah, imagine that. Meanwhile, Dakin, pretty much if you've never heard of him before, the only thing you know about him right now is that he's gay. Like I said, there was a moment here where Northstar says, well, what can you do anyway besides, what did he say? Besides be bisexual or something like that, whatever. Said, what can you actually do besides get drunk or whatever? And he's like, you'll see. And he's basically just doing bisexual things. Think about that. Northstar knows pretty much nothing about this guy. I believe it was Northstar. I don't know anything about you. So imagine the John Byrne rule. Every comic book that you make is somebody's first comic book. Right now, everybody's got their little super... You're not entirely sure what Protege does, I'm sure. Let me actually go to the list where they're showing everybody who's going to be in this book. Wait, screw that. It's called the front cover. Okay, so Northstar, Polaris, I think you should be able to get that she does. You might think that she has telekinesis, but it's actually magnetic manipulation. Okay, whatever. Prodigy, I'm not even that overly familiar with Prodigy. Whatever. Prestige, who's actually Rachel Gray now. She was originally Rachel Summers. Now she's calling herself Rachel Gray, taking her mother's maiden name. Cool. I like that. That was in X-Men Gold, if I remember correctly. I think Leah Williams had something to do with that. I think she was doing something off of, maybe it was an annual or something. Anyway, and iBoy, which I don't know too much about iBoy. He sees things. He sees everywhere. And I think he can see in different spectrums of light. You know what I'm saying? So, cool. Yeah, he was one of those Gen X, and although I am a Gen Xer, I don't really know or care that much about the Gen X books. They just never really appealed to me. So all that being what it is, what does Dakin do? I mean, all they really showed him doing was being bisexual. He said, "Oh, I can track by scent too," but apparently the dog can, the Warhound. That so if you were reading the Excalibur books, you know where that came from. Can apparently read a little bit or smell a little bit better because he can smell across dimensions. So what can Dakin do? Actually, can do a lot, but you won't know that by reading this. So this is not a very good jumping on point as far as Dakin is concerned. His mutant power is to be bisexual. This is a problem that I have with a lot of gay or just LGBTQ characters. All right, I don't know what Leah Williams identifies as or anything like that. Like, I'm not here to make personal attacks. What I am here to say is write better characters, because all the other characters in here were written really well. And one of the main reasons why is because we never touched on some bisexuality. He used his pheromones in here, which was important. It's the idea he can use his pheromones on both sexes. Honestly, that right there is actually a really good use of the power, because the whole idea was, oh, if you have the pheromone ability, then you can only use it on a person of the opposite sex. Well, somebody like Dakin, he can use it on whoever. So, like, that right there, that's cool. That's sick. That's an awesome use of the power. Somebody who's maybe possible, I think that he can use it on people who are not gay, like a guy who's not gay or bisexual, and he can have them, like, be very lovey-dovey, I guess, depending on how much he's turning it on, but just be very agreeable and just like, yeah, I'm sure, I'm happy to help you out. I really want to be your friend. I think if I remember correctly, I've seen him use it in multiple ways before, not just to seduce people, but to just simply make people more agreeable. Freaking amazing, great use of his power. And if that was his only power, that would still be pretty damn, powerful. Holy crap. But it's more than that. He can do so much more, right? Son of Wolverine, for crying out loud. Son of Wolverine. Enough said. Literally, enough said. Oh, and the one down here, too. So things like that actually bother me. That being said, aside from that, the book, fantastic. She's clearly read plenty of Jean-Paul Bueller before. There is no way she hasn't. It's impossible for her to not have, because she got his personality down so damn well. So well. I've often said that I think that they made the Richard Stack character from, well, not they, but whatever, it's supposed to be reality TV. Richard Stack from the original, what was that? Not Big Brother, the island one, Survival Island, or whatever the hell they called it, Survival. I felt like he based his personality so much on North Star, because like that's just the way he acted. I was like, oh my god, it's like North Star. Does he have a twin sister? I'll bet he's got a twin sister. Anyway, so like I felt like this was just really well done. Not the Dakin character, but like so that's there, and I'm just gonna leave that there. Take of that how you will. Make that character be written better. Like, gay is not your superpower. Bi is not a superpower. Unless it somehow is, in which case I'd love to see you write that. But that's pretty much what she wrote here. All that being said, a lot of what I've read from Leah Williams, I've liked. The Amazing Mary Jane, I think she was writing that. Really, I haven't been reading it lately because the drop-off, and I was reading too many comics at the time. But I had no other reason to drop off the comic book. It's not that I didn't like it. I loved that comic book. I thought it was great. It was good to see her, running around. And I thought it was only supposed to be a 5-issue, but then it started going further. And I was like, yeah, I only signed on for the first 5 issues or so. So this is weird that you're continuing it. But anyway, it stopped. Apparently it's canceled. That's what the rumor is right now. And I'm shocked, because Leah Williams is a fantastic writer. She writes a lot. Not everything she writes do I love, but she's one of the, to me at least, one of the newer writers who I know about. So the idea that she's doing something that seems fairly different from a lot of what she's done before, where she's really getting into an investigative team, this is perfect. Having X Factor, I've known what the premise of this story was for a while now, that they were going to be going out and trying to prove the death, find proof of death of these mutants, so that Sage can, like, oh, verified dead, so let's go in and kick butt and resurrect them and whatnot. The 5 can resurrect them. Yeah, I thought that was a great freaking concept. I'm glad to finally see the book out here. Remember a lot of people telling me, oh, this book was canceled, they took the book off. I asked for proof. Like, I was X Factor for a second. It's like, I asked for proof. Like, where's the proof that it's been, I haven't seen it. It's all over the internet. If you can't find it, I don't know what to tell you. Well, I know what to tell you, because here it is. So that's what happens when you don't have proof, but you talk. I don't know, man. Me, I think that this was a really good comic book. I enjoyed it. I'm glad that it came out for obvious reasons because it's really done well. There was the formation of the team. The new building was created. I think that this is one of the only metal buildings that's actually on the island, and it makes sense why it's there and how it came about. I thought that this was absolutely fantastic. There was just so much good about it. The art and the... Sorry, just really quick. You got David Baldeón. I'm probably butchering the name, and I apologize, Mr. B. But, yo, you are a straight-up G. Like, this guy, I've always loved this guy's art. It's got that special feel to it where it can be serious, it can be fun. Like, that's his art style. He has the ability to be very... that's the thing. There's some people who have the ability to do different art styles. I don't know that I've ever seen Mr. Baldeón doing different art styles, but what I have seen is that he's got such a fluidic... Like the style that he has is so fluidic that he could write a serious, gritty crime drama. He could write a funny story. You know, so he can actually make the art for so many different art styles, but it's the same art. And it still works across all these different genres. So I love his art style. I'm glad that he is on this book. It definitely brings a certain level of credence to the book that it might not have already had because a lot of people aren't familiar with Leah Williams' work. So this is a really great team. I hope that they stick this or keep this team to this comic book. It's a perfect premise for the current state of Krakoa. Hey, if death is meaningless, of course, so many people have said death is meaningless. There's been a lot of people who've died, and none of them seem particularly meaningless to me. They've all had something there. It's like you've upped the game. It's like, yeah, you can resurrect. So how are you going to make it interesting now? I don't know. Domino got killed. That was pretty interesting. That was pretty intense. Seeing her coming back, we're still trying to see, like, what, you know, how was she brought back without the memories when she specifically stated she wanted her memories back, right? That's pretty big. Professor X died, and we were all like, oh, crap, whoa, what? Oh, but Cerebro, wait, huh? And who else died? Like, people have died. And it's like, this was kind of a big deal. Kitty Pryde's still dead. What the frick is going on? So people can die. And it's like, holy crap. And now this book, it shows that it's not just the idea of the death, but how did the person die? Let's find the proof of death. Was this an accident? Was this otherwise? Let's actually get the body so we can show, hey, the person's dead. Let's resurrect the person. Like, I don't know, man. I've never said that death is meaningless. I've never once said that. That was other people. And now my question is, please, depict how death is meaningless in light of this book and so many other stories that are out there. I'm loving what they're doing. And this right here, this was one of those books I expected to be good, but I don't like to get excited about a book. But now that it's here, now that I've read it, I can be excited about it. I'm very happy with the direction of this book. This was a great first issue. All they have to do is keep doing this, and I will be happy. This is basically Law and Order with an X across it. XOR, I'm not even going to try that one. Anyway, this is freaking awesome. Guys, pick up this book. Check this out. See what the hubbub is about. Tell me you didn't like this book. I'd be surprised if you didn't. But everybody's taste, hey, it's all valid. It's all valid. That being said, guys, if you got any value off of this video, please allow an ad to play, even if it means watching in a second screen, and maybe drop a like right before, you know, the thing goes away. Anyway, that's the only way that our YouTubers get paid is through watching ads or allowing them to play all the way to their end. And that's it for me, guys. I'm out. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.